So kindly write down the name and the email ID. Feel free, feel brave, feel bold to ask. And let me get back from the questions that I've asked, because I have some very good questions here. I'm going to ask it very rapidly because you're kind of running short on time, but then I guess everybody's enjoying what you say. These days it's popular to say Hinduism is not a religion but a way of life. But then there's a danger in this. How can we explain this danger to the people?
A way of life is a silly thing to say because everybody has got a way of life. I mean, Taliban is a way of life, and Bollywood is a way of life, and the alcoholic guy is a way of life. A dog has a dog way of life, and a cat has a cat way of life. Okay, so it doesn't define anything. It's like every life, every form of life has a way of life. Otherwise, there would be no life if they had no way of life. So every living thing has got some way of life. So an ant has an ant way of life. It means nothing. It's like somebody says, what's a car? And you say it's a collection of molecules. Now, it doesn't define what a car is because a banana is also a collection of molecules. So, of course, it's true that a car is a collection of molecules, but it does not tell you distinctly which collection of molecules is a car. Okay, so if you say car is a means of transportation, it doesn't define it because so is a bicycle. Therefore, a way of life doesn't say anything. What way of life is it? What is special, distinct about a way of life that makes it Hindu as opposed to non-Hindu? So this definition is defining something in terms of another unknown. It does not really serve the purpose. So my definition of Hinduism as Astika, if you read Indra's Net, what I'd like you to do is read the first 3 chapters. So read Preface, Introduction, Chapter 1. Okay. Then in the first go round, jump to, if you know, there is part 1 is Purva Paksha and part 2 is Uttar Paksha. So read the last chapter of Purva Paksha. That gives you a summary of all these negative pseudo-intellectuals, what they are doing, and it will tell you why this thesis is a dangerous one. So that's kind of in the middle of the book. And then jump some chapters to the last three chapters. So in the last 3 chapters, I'm defining what I mean by Astika Nastika. What is my idea of an insider and an outsider in this framework, where it's open architecture. It is an open architecture, but there are certain rules of behavior to be an insider. Because even in the internet, even though it's a very open architecture, if somebody is trying to subvert the internet, if somebody trying to hack it and put out viruses and bring down the internet, they'll be thrown out. Open architecture doesn't mean that we should allow somebody to invade us and destroy the open architecture, because then it won't be open anymore. So while an open architecture, certain criteria which they have to choose to agree with or not agree with will decide whether we call them Astika or not. And this is my proposal of what we should call Hinduism, is the new idea of Astika that I have defined.